Everybody. I'm glad this is working. I'm Shelby from Shelby Does Wreaths, and I'm working on a fall wreath. I'm going to use a ruffle technique um, with a 15-inch work form. I've already started. I've got most of my stuff ready. I've cut some 14-inch ribbon tails. I've made some bows to go around the edge, just little hand bows, nothing spectacular. I can go over that with you later. I've made two huge bows that I haven't fluffed yet, but we'll get them done. Then I want to show you, this is the coolest looking sign in this gorgeous, guys. And this comes from Crafty Tessie at Etsy. So I've got it ready to go. I've already put some ties, Chanel stem ties on the back. Then I've got this mesh, and I've already cut it into 35-inch pieces, and we're going to sit here and do the ruffles, put it on here, and make something pretty, guys. So I'm going to turn the camera just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Basically, it's not a hard thing to do, but I want you to see it so you can know. So what I do is I take the end of the mesh that I've cut 35 inches and I roll it 3 or 4 times. Kind of pinch it in the middle, take a little bag clip, but you could use a clothespin or any type of little clip just to hold it. Then I turn it around and I go to the other end and I do the same thing. I start rolling it and I give it 3 or 4 good rolls, and then after I get 3 or 4 good rolls, then I'm going to start pinching it, ruffling it right down the middle. So this is called a woodland ruffle, I do believe, if I'm not badly mistaken. This is 10-inch deco mesh with some jute running through it. And I'm going to start on the top row. And think I'm going to put it in vertically, where give it a couple of twists, and you see how it looks right there. You've got the little curls on it, but you've also got the nice ruffle. So let's go ahead and do these. There's 18 ties on this work form. Like I said, it's a 15-inch work form, so 18 ties. So we got 18 of these 35-inch deco mesh cut. They're 10 inches by 35 inches. I take that one and curl it in. Then I bring this one down here and curl it in. Now this takes a little more time than your regular ruffles, and definitely more time than the poof method, but it also makes a very, very beautiful full wreath. So that's the idea here, is to get a good full wreath base, and it's such a full wreath base that you really don't have to come in and add a lot of an extra ruffle or more deco mesh than just what we've got here. This took a little more than 2 rolls. I started out with 2 rolls of this mesh and used one, and I have just a little bit left on the other one. So like I say, I'm just kind of rolling it in 3 or 4 times, turning it around, doing the same thing on the other end. I just love the way this comes out. Now, I've heard that there's a way of doing this with a 21-inch, and is a tutorial out there on that, and I would love to see it, so I may go ahead and buy that tutorial, but I won't be showing it, because if she put it out there for sale, then I respect her talent and her time, and I certainly wouldn't do anything to interfere with her business, and that would be interfering. So, but this is a cool method, and all of our fall wreaths so far have been your oranges, your browns, different regular fall colors. But when I saw this turquoise in this acorn, I said, you know, I'm ready for a change. So this will be pretty. So thought we'll go with that and see what we can come up with here. Now this has the jute running all through it. So guys, if you have a little problem with the jute or the burlap that causes breathing problems, you might want to wear a mask when you're doing this. Just simply because the fibers, anytime you're working with jute or burlap, you do have fibers. So, and I know a lot of people that's an issue, so I'm just forewarning you before you try it and then you haven't used that before. So, all right, so I hope that you're all having a good day. I'm certainly having one. I've been doing a little business stuff and getting some stuff ready to go in my Etsy shop. And like I say, I'm Shelby from ShelbyDoesWreaths.com. You can always go there and find my Etsy shop off my webpage. I do custom orders. I do several types of wreaths and garlands. I do mailbox garlands, covers. I do mantles, garlands to go around your door, and wreaths of all shapes and sizes and all price ranges, because not everybody can afford a very nice, but everybody wants a pretty home, so not everybody can afford the $150, $200 wreaths, but I do a lot with Dollar Tree items that make really cute, adorable wreaths. So my price ranges are all across the board because I like to offer something for everybody. So if you like this technique and you like my style, check out my webpage and www.shelbydoeswreaths, that's one word, and hit the shop button and it'll take you right there to where all my items that I have for sale still are. It's getting to be a busy time of season, but if you have a special color or type of wreath that you would like, some people like the farm look, some people like traditional, some people only want silver and gold, and others only want purple and gold, and I'm easy. I like all colors. I like all designs. I have a lot of Halloween wreaths out there that I've done. I've done some scarecrows with a little unique twist. I've done some the candy canes. I've also done I've got those on there. like I say, I have some for all price ranges, and I don't mind, and I think I'll come back on here later and show you guys how to do some really cute wreaths using some Dollar Tree items, because everybody, especially if you're starting out, then you don't mind, you can learn on the stuff like that and then build yourself up. Of course, not everybody wants to make their own wreaths. That's why I make them and sell them, but I also teach it. So I like teaching other people how to do what I'm doing. I enjoy seeing the light in their eyes when they make something totally gorgeous, and that's part of life, so it's all good. So that's got our, this has got our top row done. And you can see how full that is, and that's just the top row. So we'll come down here and do the same thing on the bottom row. Then we'll start adding all our pretties. This particular work frame came from Craft Outlet. So, but I buy mesh from everywhere. I like the good thick mesh when I can get it. But I buy it wherever I find it. I'm getting to where I really like using the 10-inch as opposed to the 21-inch, but I do use 21-inch in a lot of stuff. But it's just a matter of preference. What we do, what we like. Everybody has their own way of doing things. So I know some people love the 21-inch, and others like the 10. So, and I like the 10. And I even use the 4.5 or 5 sometimes, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm doing a bubble technique or how large I want my wreath to be. So I'm hoping, this is my first YouTube video, and I'm hoping to come on here and add quite a few different techniques. To my YouTube channel, so you can learn different things. I've been doing wreaths now for 10 years or so. I enjoy it. I enjoy doing floral arrangements. I also do arrangements for the headstones, either the floral vases that go on the headstones or the saddles that go on there. So I've done several of those. Every time I do one of those, I try my best to find a way to keep the fading down. So the last time I tried, doing clear coat on it, because in the South in particular, and I suppose everywhere, but in our heat, I'm in Georgia, so our heat is pretty awesome, and the rain, between the heat and the sun and the rain, oh my goodness, it plays havoc on anything you put outside floral wise. Believe it or not, guys, the cheaper the flowers, the more it holds up. But then if you're wanting a really pretty arrangement, you know, what do you do, right? So, like I say, I'm curling this up 3 or 4 times on the end. Then I'm taking my fingers and I'm pulling it together, making a nice ruffle. Try to keep it in the center if you can. But you can see as we're going, this is turning into quite a pretty I love the color. I'm all about the turquoise. I think turquoise is a common thing for this season. Especially, I think, if you lived close to the beach or something, I think this would make a perfect fall wreath for you, because you've got your beach colors, and then you got your fall designs. So, and then I'm going to add some ribbon on here that really has a Midwestern flair to it. So, making sure I don't miss a twist tie. Like I say, there was 18 in here, and we just about getting them down. I try to get them down there tight as I can on this first run, because I'm going to come back in, and on the bottom row, I'm going to add some little bows. I'll put some ribbon tails on the top row, and then we'll add the bows and the signs, and hopefully come out with something that's just totally gorgeous. So, like I say, this is my first one, and I didn't advertise it, didn't tell anybody that this is what I'm doing. So I'm hoping to get it advertised that I am doing these on YouTube now, and build up a fan base here. Because I have a fan base on Facebook, and I'd like to expand, because not everybody, I know when I'm looking for something in particular, YouTube's the place to go. You go in there and you punch in, I want to know how to make a ruffle wreath, or I want the bubble method, or I need a Dollar Tree wreath, or whatever it is that you're looking for, that you want to do, or I want to make a bow. And I will come in here and show you how to make bows at a later date. I use Pro Bow the hand, but there's other, I do make them by hand. See, I didn't like the way that come out. Did you guys see that? That just come undone. So what I'm going to do is redo it. It's no big deal. Sometimes that happens with this, and that's okay. I just didn't like the way it came out, so turn it around and redo it. I want my finished product to look nice, so that's the main thing. But I do like the way this particular ruffle comes out, how full it looks. Normally when you do a ruffle, you don't use the, use 30 inches at the most, but sometimes only 20, depending on what you're going for, what you're aiming for. But you can see this is coming together really pretty. So I just like the way this particular one looks. It's nice and full. Got your ruffles and your curls all in one. Like I say, just a little clip or something to kind of hold the other end while you get it going. And you can see, guys, this isn't really that time consuming. It's more so, I assure you, than doing the poof method, but your results are so good that the poof method, when you use the poof method, you either almost always come in with either ruffles or curls or something to add to it. So this eliminates one step when you're doing that, so that's kind of a good thing. So let's see here how we got this going here. And I do love this color. This color is just so nice. It just reminds you of the beach, really, but with the sandy color of the jute and the turquoise color of the mesh. But as you can see, it's coming together gorgeous. Now they got one last one to go. We'll show it to you then. And probably what I'll do next is come in and put some ribbon tails on the top. Then I'll come in and put my bows and signs on, and then I'll do my bows around the outer edge. This is it, guys. This is the final one. Now I'm going to show you how just putting it in there, giving it a couple of good twists, getting it in there as tight as I can. Couple of good twists. And you see what we have here. Isn't that pretty? And the color's awesome. The color's just awesome. So now it's time to come back in, and I'm going to go ahead and trim a few of these. This particular mesh seems to have a few stray. And I always, at the end, I'll always come back in and trim it up anyway. But, you know, I'll trim a little as I go sometimes just to see what's going on. These are the ribbon tails I've got here. And you can see I'm going to just put them on the top, but this is pretty. This goes with this really well. And then you see this pretty, looks almost southwestern with the orange and the turquoise in it. So I think it'll be really pretty. So I've cut these 14 inches, and then I've come in at the end and I've dovetailed them. And what that means is I fold it in half and cut it up this way. So all I'm going to do is take my ribbon tails and fold them in half, and then I'm going to pinch them together in the center. If you can see that, then hopefully I'm getting the camera angle right. Tried to get my Mevo to work on this the other day, and it just wouldn't do it for me, so hopefully this will. If I need to move that camera angle down, I will. But I'll put these in, and I twist them around opposite each other. So, and I just go all the way around the top this way. Doesn't matter which one you put on top or bottom. It just matters that you fold it in half and pinch it together in the center, and then add it to your twist tie. Once you get it in your twist tie and give it a good twist around, then you can spread it out. And can you see what I've done there? See how pretty that is? So I'm going to do one all the way around the top edge. Now the bottom I'm going to do the bows that I showed you before. And those are going to have acorns and leaves, kind of match the sign. I was trying to pick colors that would go good with the sign. Also kind of polish it, but yeah, I realized this glittery one here, I just mainly wanted to pick up the color of that sign. So let's see here what I do. I twisted that one around. There we go. So just give it a good tug, pull it around. Fold them in the middle, pinch them together. Let's see if I got my hands showing. trying to get it where you can see what I'm doing. But I'm trying to explain it as I go too, so you can kind of understand. But once I twist it down, fold it in the middle, then I pull these apart in opposite directions. So I don't want the same ribbon next to each other, so that's why I'm pulling them opposite directions. And it's just quick and simple once you get this ribbon cut. Now, if you use a Pro Bow, the hand, if you take the spool holder on there and wrap your ribbon around the 3 spool holes, you can come up with a quick, easy way to make your cut your ribbon ties. And if you make a lot of wreaths with ribbon ties, you look for ways to make that cut just a little faster but still be accurate. And that's one good way of doing it. So I'm almost done here. Only have 3 more of these to go. Like I say, I'm folding it in half, pinching it in the middle, and then I'm coming down in my twist ties and giving it a couple of good twists there. And just spreading them out a little bit. So I may decide to move these and come back and move them all this way. I don't know. We'll see when we get towards the end. That's the beauty of doing wreaths. You can change up the way the ribbon ties go. It's no big deal. Some people like them all going outside, facing the outside. And I may do that because I'm going to put 2 big bows on here. And then a sign, a good size sign. So I may decide that, yeah, I need these to come out towards the outside like yay. And you can just take your hands and kind of curl these around. This is all wired ribbon, so it's really workable, easy to deal with. But this is what we have so far, guys. We've got the top row done. We've got ribbon ties all the way on the top. Now, it does take a little time prepping this if you're going to do like I did and prep it first. But I did that to save time later on. But you can see what we've got so far. And we're getting the color in here now. Bringing in this blue and orange. That's going to look really nice with our sign here. So you can see how it's coming together with the sign here. So what I want to do is decide about where I want that sign to go. And then put my big bows accordingly. And I think I want the sign off to the side, and then I'll put a bow here and a bow here. So let's fluff these bows. I'm going to move this over to the side. I think I am. Let me see, I'll just hang it up back here. And then I'll get these bows out. And this is what they look like when I first pull them off of the Pro Bow. I don't know the name of this particular bow, and if you go online and look under ribbons and Pro Bow the hand, you'll see that there's lots of different ones and lots of different names to them. So I like to start at the base and pull out, and this is two different ones, so I'm gonna see, I'll pull the tails out, pull these opposite so they're not next to each other. Take my fingers in there and just kind of fluff them up. Okay, pull these out, pull these opposite each other so my tails and my ribbons aren't the same. Pull these tails out, and the thing about this particular, you can get vicious with this thing. It's all wired in. So I'm trying to just stay opposite each other. And then, of course, on the top, I have just 4 of these plain ones. So I'm just going to kind of go like this. And then I take my fingers and come in and just fluff. And that's why it's called, I guess, a fluff box. So I come in and I just kind of fluff it out. And just make sure it's where I want it to be. Of course, once it gets on the wreath, it'll be fluffed again because you've got to make sure you've got things where you want them to be. So, and then putting it on there messes it up just a little bit. So we fluff it again. And all this is wired ribbon except for this, and it's like a mesh ribbon. But I like the colors of it that go with the sign. So that's why I chose that one. So I'm going to take this one off and fluff the next one. And then I'll put them on the wreath and refluff them and then add the sign. So I'll put this one on. Takes little or no time to do all this, guys. Once you make them, once you start doing these wreaths, it's not that, it moves pretty fast. Moves pretty fast, so not so difficult. I may readjust which way I want my tails to go when I get them on the wreath, because I may decide I want the tails all coming down or all going up. But just pull them out, get them kind of fluffed out. If you've got 2 colors, keep them separated. Now you could use solid colors all the way through this. That wouldn't be a problem. Just kind of fluff it and then get it how you want it to be. And it's just practice, guys. That's all it is, just practice. Keep on practicing and keep on till you get it where you just feel like you can throw them out in your sleep practically. But they are so pretty. So I've got 2. You can see I've picked some fall leaf colors in this one. And I've also picked some more turquoise in this one, because I'm wanting to pick up that turquoise on that sign. And I have the brown for the sign. So I tried to match up my sign as best I could. But, so I've got these sort of fluffed out. I'm going to move this over. And take my and decide where I want my bows to be. And basically that's going to depend on where this sign goes. So if the sign's here, then I want this bow to be here and this bow to be here. And you still got a lot going on here, but I like that. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and try to attach my sign. Now when you do your signs, when you do attach your signs, try to leave it up on top of the mesh. You don't want to go all the way, you don't want it tied down too tight because it'll be flat against the so I just kind of feed it through the mesh going all the way to the back. I don't want it real tight. I want it tight enough to hold, obviously, but I don't want it weighing down all my pretty mesh. So I'm going to come up here and work this one through the mesh. There again, same thing, because I want to lay it on top of the mesh. So I just kind of weave it through that mesh and work it back, and then I'll tie it off on the wire frame in the very back. But I don't want it too tight because I don't want it too flat. I just want it where it will hold the sign up without it moving. I don't want the sign jiggling once I get it done. So when I start off like this, I'm just lightly tying it off. I'll come back and secure it more later. But I want it tight enough so I can figure out where my bows are going to go. But I really like this acorn. I think he's Crafty Test did a great job on it. Like I say, I love the colors. But you can see how he's kind of sitting on top there. He's not in real tight yet, but I'll tighten him up later. So just keep his ribbon tails underneath them. And let's put some bows on there. So I'm going to start right here with a one bow, and the same thing. I don't want this bow to go way down. I want him to stay up high. So I'll try to work him through this mesh. I want him tied off good, but I don't want him squished flat. So I'd love to show you how I'm doing this, but it's kind of one of those things where you kind of need to feel your way around in there and figure him out. And once I get him in there, about where I want him, then I'll try to tie him off. Right there. So you've got 3 bars back here that you can use to tie this stuff off with. But you see how nice he is? He's just sitting up here so pretty, and I just get and fluff him out a little bit. And I'll tell you this too, guys. I'm fluffing him now, and then I'll fluff him when I hang him on the door to take pictures, and then I'll fluff him still again when I put him in the box to ship him. So there's a lot of fluffing going on here, but that's okay. These are just nice wide looped bows, nothing tight, and I like the loose feel of them. So you can see here, this is going to have to be tightened up just a little bit, but I'll get him. As soon as I find him, I'll get him. Tighten just a little more securely, and then I'll go back after everything's done and make sure everything's good and tight. So I've got that bow on, and then I'm going to put this one right here. So I've got 2 nice fluffy bows here. And you can see I've got my colors running good here now. It matches my sign. Still getting the turquoise in there and still getting the fall feel in there. So I'm pleased with the colors that come, the way the colors come out. This is one of my favorite colors anyway to work with. Just always is so relaxing to me. Turquoise is such a relaxing color that I love working with it. So designing with it's even more special. So I've got my wire through there. I'm going to give it a little twist here. Then come back through on the back side and tie it off here. But I still want this one big and fluffy, just like the last one. So I'll come back in here and tie it off on the middle wire. And once I get that done, I'm going to sit it down here and refluff him a little bit. As soon as I get this sign just so, he's just not wanting to be where I want him to be. I want him just a little snugger than he wants to be. Let me see if that'll do it there. And move him up just a smidgen. Yeah, that's better. Like I say, I'll tighten him up just a little more. You just have to work with these things till you get them just where you want them. But you do want them on there tight. So, that feels a lot better. I'll do the bottom one again. As soon as I get the last of the ribbons on. That's the thing. So let's just fluff this out just a wee bit so we can kind of see what we're looking at here. Okay. So let me hold this up so you can see what we have so far. And so far he's looking just beautiful. And you could stop right here if that's what you wanted to do. But I think when I add the bows around the outside edge, it's just going to take it over the top. And that's where I want to go. Just over the top here. So, I've got 10 of these little bows here. And I'm going to make sure they're twisted on real good. I haven't fluffed them out yet, but this is easy stuff. This is so easy stuff here. Let me show you what I've got. They're little 5-inch tails, and you can do this with a Pro Bow, or you can do it by hand because it's just 2 ribbons the same length, and they're tied off with wire, and they each have the same length tail. So it's just a cute little whimsical bow, and it's tied off real good here. I'm going to take, because I'm going to add these to the twist ties on the base down here, I'm going to take and cut this excess wire off and then tuck this under so it doesn't interfere with anything. And then I'm going to come in here on my twist ties down here and tie it off. And there's 10 of these, so I'm going to go 10 times around the outside, tying him off. And I think he looks gorgeous. Now, on these twist ties, there's a lot of options you can do. You can tuck them under, which is what I tend to do, or you can clip them off close once they're twisted on there real good, and I've done that. So, but this is just adds another cuteness level to this bow. I mean, to this. Can you see that? How adorable that is? So you figure this, I'm doing this all the way around. So I'm carrying this leaf theme with some orange down here, all the way around. So like I say, I've just, these can be done by hand, or they can be done with a little Pro Bow. Either way, doesn't matter. I'm just going to take this excess wire off of each one of them and tie them in. Work that wire back and tie each one of these in. So there's 10 of these. That's 2 down and 8 to go. And we almost have this wreath done. And that's an awesome thing. This is just putting together now. I did take the time to make the bows. So that you would have to add that time in there, but then I'm also working slower because I'm trying to tell you what I'm doing. So let's just make sure he's twisted on there good. Cut the excess wire off, and I probably should have done that part of it. And probably should have done this part of it. And tuck this under. And also what I'm doing underneath here now, I try to go opposite directions. So if I'm going this way on this one, I'll go on the next tie, I'll do the other way. So it's just kind of an opposite direction kind of thing. But 10 twist ties and they look gorgeous. So this is a cool way of just taking this over the top. Just a little bit more. It's a little different, a little more work than just adding ribbon ties here, which is also could be done. You could also do just ribbon ties all the way around. And a lot of wreaths are done that way, and that's fine. But this is one good way of doing it. Just to add a little extra pretty to it. So we fluff these out as we go, kind of thing. So take care of that extra wire. Nobody needs to be poked with any wire. And I'm just going down and hitting every one of these twist ties on the bottom. And just twisting them off. Now, on these twist ties, if you didn't want to tuck them under, you could take a pencil or something and make little curly cues on them. And that would be fine too. For this particular one, I don't think I want to do that. So I'm doing the tuck under method, but it's basically up to you what you want to do. All this wire that I'm using is all this ribbon I'm using is wired. And it does come out pretty, and you can form it as you go too. So if you can see here what we've got so far, how gorgeous is that? Isn't that pretty? Doesn't that just take it right over the top? Just makes it that much nicer, one step better than the one before. So it's just kind of a nice added touch. And I have to credit Melissa at Melissa's Door Decor for the idea and this putting the bows around the side, because this is where I learned it in one of her classes. So don't want to shortchange anybody. That's because I'm constantly learning myself, the same as anybody does if they're interested in making sure their product is good. You always got to be learning and doing more in your education, and I do that myself. I take classes and constantly try new techniques, watch different videos from other great wreath makers, and there's tons of them out there, guys. Tons of them. And they're all good, or all appear to be good. So, I'm going to twist him just a little bit more. Take off the excessive wire. We almost have this one done and ready for the books. And just go right in here and get these last 3 or 4 ties done, and I think it's going to be gorgeous. I think you're going to find that the colors are awesome new way of going looking at fall. Anytime you can try new colors, not everybody wants the same colors. Not everybody wants the farmhouse look, not everybody wants the beach look, not everybody wants the pumpkins everywhere. I mean, although I have nothing wrong with pumpkins, I like my pumpkins. But I've seen a lot of turquoise pumpkins, a lot of different colors this year. So I think, you know, color's the thing. People are just going for more color, non-traditional sort of thing. So I have about 3 more here to go. It does take just a wee bit more to put these on the than the ribbon tails. The ribbon tails you fold and pinch, but these I've got to fluff out and make sure I have it just so. But straighten them tails out when I get them in here. But I do like the way this looks. It come out great. It's pretty. A little extra effort, but worth it all the way. Because everybody likes cute little bows. And it is adorable. So almost got this one done. And I like it. It's coming together beautiful. Can't complain when you get to work on a project and you're not really sure because the colors are different or something's different. But when it does come together, it makes it nice, makes it worth it. If you can get something coming together really good. And I'm not untwisting these ties by here. I'm just putting them, twisting right on top of that ruffle. There's no point to undo anything. Two more guys and we'll fluff him and call him a day. I do just kind of pull these out before I put them in the tie, because then I can do my tails after I get it in there, and that's all good. And it looks like I didn't dovetail this one. Just noticed it. And that works when you're going around the side of the... You know what I was thinking there? Horace. Somebody might say I'm not thinking at all. This is it, guys. So let's find this last ruffle. I'll pull these out. This is a neat, different way of making a wreath. I hope you found something that you liked here that maybe will help you when you make your own wreaths. Or if not, if you're just a buyer and you like it, you like the colors, check it out. I will post it on Etsy, on my page, business page. Shelby Does Wreaths. It'll be posted. So see here what we got, guys. Isn't that pretty? And that is a nice, different way of doing a fall wreath. I'm going to hang him up here, fluff him a little bit, and bring the camera up so you can see just how gorgeous he really is. Let me see here. Let me lift him up and turn him in here this way. Can you see how pretty that is? How nice those colors are? The bows are nice. Like I say, do some more fluffing on them, and I will. I'll take it in the other room to take pictures of it. But it just turns out so cute. I like the way it looks. I love the extra bows down here. Because one thing about a wreath, when you're looking at a wreath, a good wreath, you can see you want something to be pretty all the way around. You don't want it just to be on the front. You want the sides to be pretty. You want it to be pretty all the way around. Because when people come to your door, they'll scrutinize it. I can tell you right now. They want to know what's going on. And where did you get it? All that good stuff. So, thanks for joining me, guys. This is Shelby Does Wreaths. My webpage is www.shelbydoeswreaths.com. I'll post it in the comments when the video's over. And I appreciate you taking your time to spend some time with me today. Like I say, check it out on my Etsy page. It'll be there, if not today, tomorrow for sure. I've got to do pictures. So there's another one that's got to be dovetailed. I somehow missed that one too. But anyway, thank you guys. Let me finish it up. Make sure everything's so-so. And I'll be back with some more tips and fun wreath ideas, hopefully soon. Talk to you guys later. Bye.